you guys keep making this so hard for me and confusing because, like, a few of the games that I was requested to review for this, were a little obvious in that I'm not supposed to like them. Like there's a few on this list that I'm like, no, no, they want me to review this because it's a bad game. But this one, I was a little, I didn't know how to approach it. I wasn't sure what you wanted from me, Mr. Stokes 18, if that is your real name, which I'm betting it's not. You got third place for the amount of codes sent in. You sent in 3. Good job, good sir or ma'am. Probably sir, knowing my demographic. But 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 the issue we've run into is that I'm hoping that you don't expect me to enjoy or like this game. See, because when I was young, I played a game called Digimon World 2, not Digimon World 1. In fact, I also played Digimon World 3. I played 2 and 3, but I skipped 1, and there was a very good reason for this. Um, because 2 and 3 are really fun turn-based RPGs where you have teams of multiple Digimon to work with, and it's an enjoyable experience, and this is nothing like that. And I guess in a way it might be fun if you like glorified Tamagotchis, which is what this thing is. But if you're not into that idea, then you're okay. Let's start with the positives. The graphics of Digimon World are passable. They're not like anything to write home about, but they look all right. They do. Some of the cinematics bother me, but the in-game looks great. It looks all right. No problem. Sound is actually all right as well. The sound effects and the music is pretty decent. So graphics and sound are fine, but then we get into the gameplay, and that's where I want to strangle someone. All you have a digi partner, which my first immediate complaint is you don't actually get to pick your partner, at least not obviously, because like I remember in 2, you got to like join one of 3 leagues, and each one gives you a different partner to start out with, and you could get more Digimon to join you as the game progressed. And that was fine, because that 3 different Digimon, completely different, to choose from. Here, it randomly gives you a Digimon based off of how you answer a couple questions early on, and I can almost guarantee you're going to get Agumon. That is I can almost promise you're going to get Agumon, like just from the way the questions go, because basically the only way to not get Agumon is if you don't have a Digivice and you have no friends, or you like nighttime, which I guess that might happen, but chances are you're gonna get Agumon, which and that's okay. That's not necessarily bad, because Agumon was like the main Digimon from the first season, and I'm a little bit of a Digimon fan, like not a huge one, but I watched the series a little bit, and I liked the movie, and I obviously played a few of the games, not this one, but it gives you Agumon to start out with, and that's great, but then you spend the rest of the game just training Agumon, and not in the fun Pokemon random encounters kind of training. Oh no, because that would be enjoyable. No, instead what you do is you walk around town, you buy items and shit, but you go to the gym area and you just train Agumon every day, and there's a passage of time, and in between training, you get to feed him, you get to take him to the bathroom, which is so much fun. Thank you for that experience. That's exactly what I feel like doing, and you get to make sure he gets nappy times. Fun for all involved, I take it, and I think I understand the idea. Like I said, glorified Tamagotchi, but in fairness, Tamagotchis, were pretty popular, and the idea here is that you have this, Digimon partner. This is your partner, and you have to take care of him. Okay, fine, got that. But couple of issues. One, if you're gonna do that, you should have a multitude of different partners to start out with, and there aren't that many. I think there might be like 2 others, maybe only 1. I'm not sure exactly. I researched a bit, but I didn't figure that much out. But like I said, you're gonna get Agumon, almost guaranteed. So that's kind of an issue, and I would expect at least 5 different choices for a game like this. And on top of that, like. There's a battle system here, because Digimon was kind of an action-y show with battles and stuff, and the battles are like one of the most passive autopilot things I've ever experienced. Because, like, for one, to start out, before you train up his intelligence enough to where he, can respond to orders, you basically have to let him do his own thing, which it works fine at first, but you don't do anything. You just kind of watch him battle and hope for the best. Then, when you get his intelligence up enough, then you can start giving him orders, and the orders consist of attack or run away. And that's your lot. And you get more attacks later, so I guess slowly as you play the game more, as you invest hours of time wasted, then you might be able to, control him, more precisely. And I guess that's the point. The point is to raise this thing from a baby into an intelligent, responsive partner. And I kind of understand that. Again, and I don't think that this is a game that everyone on the planet is going to hate. But it starts out as such a fucking tedious grind fest that you don't want to be a part of at all. And then, the thing that really made me mad about it, it wasn't really the core game mechanics, because while this game isn't my thing, I get it. And I understand that some people might actually be really into this sort of thing. If you're really into raising monsters, you like Tamagotchis, like I said, glorified Tamagotchi here. There is a plot, and there are battles. I mean, if you're okay with Grindfest, you might be okay with this. And I would say that, maybe if you're a big fan of Digimon and you like that sort of game, you might be into this, except that I can't say that because if you're a fan of Digimon, you're going to be very annoyed, because this game does one thing that drives me crazy, and I hate it. See, I don't know whether any of you remember Digimon that well. Some of you might be bigger fans than others, but, let's just take Agumon, for example. Per the first season, and basically any series after that, it is a pretty, solid fact that Agumon digivolves into Greymon, which then digivolves into Metal Greymon, and so on. But it goes Agumon, Greymon. That is where Agumon is supposed to go on the chain of Digievolution. That is pretty clear, and I'm well aware that when Digievolution, takes effect, it's not always cut and dry. It's not like Pokemon. It's a little, there's a little flexibility, but for the most part, whenever you have an Agumon, almost any fan is going to sit there and expect that Agumon to digivolve into a Greymon. My Agumon digivolved into a Miramon. Notably not a Greymon at all. This is annoying to me. And I still had to take the fucking thing to the bathroom, even though it's a champion level, which is also irritating. Miramon? Really? That's the one you chose. That's the one. Okay, and I actually researched as to why this is. Apparently, in this game, and I believe from a developer's perspective, this was done to increase the Digimon pool that the player would have access to. When Agumon digivolves, he digivolves into several different Digimon, mainly Greymon, which is one, thank God, Miramon, Bergermon, Centauromon, Monochromon, and Tyrannomon. Any number of those based on stats. Which, okay, so basically it turns it into a bigger grind fest, and I guess the idea was to increase replay value, that you would, sit there and actually number crunch and figure out that, which stats turn, him into which frickin' Digimon, and great high five, but really? Just... because, wow, that doesn't sound fun at all to anybody involved. Maybe if you are really, hardcore about it, but keep in mind the, normal demographic back in the day when Digimon was a little bit popular were young children, and typically when young children play a game like this, they recognize patterns, and they recognize that Agumon turns into Greymon. They don't want to be sitting there and trying to figure out why their Agumon just morphed into a crazy fire monster. That is not on the long list. The worst part is that I remember a friend of mine, when I was young, actually had the first game. I bought Digimon World 2, thank God, because Digimon World 2 is way freaking better. And almost every conceivable way. He had this one, and the same thing happened to him. His freaking Agumon turned into a freaking Miramon. So, interesting coincidence. I don't know whether Miramon's just a more common evolution, or we just happen to be training the same things. I don't know. All I know is that this is dumb, and I hate it. So yeah, not a fan of this game. You know, and I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. And if you can look past all the flaws I've highlighted so far, and if you enjoy Grindfest, and if you can get past the fact that the Digi-evolutions are not accurate, almost at all, unless you have particular stats, you know, highlighted correctly, because, great, god damn, why? Whatever, then maybe you'd like this, you know, it's not terrible, I just hate it, if that makes any sense. So, I hope that Stokes 18 did not expect me to like this or give this thing a positive review, because I obviously did not, because I'm sorry, man, I couldn't get into it. Not my thing at all, and you know, compared to its sequels 2 and 3 that I've played, this isn't even close. So if you're gonna play any of the Digimon games, play World 2 and World 3. Those two are great games. World 3 is a little grindy, but it's still fun. So yeah, you can skip this one, probably. Until next time, this is Darkness, Individual Fond, farewell.
Oh god, here we are, again, for the third time. Not third, because I used to do this a long time ago, then I stopped, like I said, the first time, and now we're back in a new year, new efforts. I don't know whether you noticed, but the last few parts I've actually been slowly adding things to this every time. It's like a slow process, a slow transition to sort of ease you into it. I made a new background for this, which I think looks a lot nicer. It's a lot easier to put annotations, because you have any idea how hard it is to line up annotations on a mostly black background? It's like impossible to see what you're doing. So I have corrected this, obviously. I like it. It looks nicer. I've also added little drop shadows underneath all the windows that you click on now, which is very fancy. Yes, it's a little detail. I just felt the need to point it out, because if I don't, I'll feel like it was all for nothing if nobody notices. You know how it is. And, you know, it just occurred to me that I, didn't freaking put down the videos in my little... Didn't decide what videos I'm putting here again. I completely forgot about that again. For the third time in a row. It's okay, it's okay. Let me think for a moment. I will remember. I will figure this one out. Okay, if you look down to your left, which is my right, you will find the first part to my Tomb Raider retrospective. Yes, that's a good one. That was a good one. A lot of people like that. First part to my Tomb Raider retrospective, so you can check that out. That's down there. And if you look on this side, you will find the first part to my unfinished Let's Play of System Shock 2, which not many people watched, but I should probably finish that one of these days. Somewhere over the rainbow, but not today. Probably not tomorrow. Probably not even next week. But the first part is there, and the first part, I actually kind of like the first part, so you can go look at the first part if you want. And above me, you will find all my Patreon, you know, supporters. They are all great people, wonderful people, fantastic people. I'm sucking up now. Down there in the description, you'll find a bunch of links: Facebook, Twitter, Patreon. If you want to click on any of those, you can, by all means. I don't really care. But, you know, you follow me on Facebook, then you'll hear stuff. And Twitter, you'll get tweeted stuff. Actually, I don't use Twitter that often, but it's still there. If you follow, you can follow. Do it. Just do it. And if I could, I forgot about this last time, and it really does make a difference, I've noticed, if I remind people of this. If you could please like, and if you like this video, could you subscribe? You don't have to like, though. You can also dislike, if that is the case. If you hated this video, you should hit the dislike button, because you shouldn't lie to people. That's not really nice at all. It's lying. Lying is bad. So if you didn't like this video, you should dislike, and then I'll cry, but that's not the point. The point is you told the truth, and the truth is better than a lie, usually. Almost all the time. Okay, sometimes it's not, but again, getting off topic. Like or dislike, click one of them if you please. And if you did like, you should hit the subscribe button, because then you'll get more videos like this that will hopefully be good and stuff. So, yeah.